family and loved ones, today we have come together to witness the joining of these two lives. For them, out of the routine of ordinary life, the extraordinary happened. They met each other, fell in love, and are finalizing it with their wedding today. Steve and Amber, marriage is the promise between two people who love each other, who trust in that love, who honor one another as individuals, and who wish to spend the rest of their lives together. It enables two separate people to share their desires, longings, dreams, and memories, their joys and sorrows, and to help each other through all the uncertainties of life. A strong marriage also nurtures each of you as separate individuals and allows you to maintain your unique identity and grow in your own way through the years ahead. It is a safe haven for each of you to become your best self, while together you become better than you could ever be alone. You are adding to your life not only the affection of each other, but also the companionship and the blessing of deep trust. You are agreeing to share strength, responsibilities, and love. To make this relationship work, it takes more than love. It takes trust, to know in your hearts that you only want the best for each other. It also takes dedication to stay open to one another and to learn and to grow even when it is difficult to do so. And it also takes faith to go forward together without knowing what the future holds for you both. Steve and Amber, I would ask that you always treat each other and each day with respect, and to remind yourselves of what brought you here together today. Give the highest priority of tenderness, gentleness, kindness, and that your marriage so richly deserves. When frustration and difficulty assail your marriage, as they do with all relationships, focus and take time for each other. And do what seems to be right for you, not only what seems right for the two of you together. This way, when the clouds of trouble hide the sun in your lives and you lose sight of it for just a moment, you can remember that the sun is still there, and that each of you will take responsibility for the quality of your life together and will be marked with abundance and with happiness. A good marriage must be created. It is never being too old to hold hands. It is remembering to say, I love you at least once a day. It is never going to sleep angry. It is knowing honesty of the heart as well as honesty in words. It is standing together and facing the world. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is having the capacity to love and forgive and grow together. Marriage is not about marrying the right person. It is about being the right partner. Are you ready to take your vows? Yes. Then the audience may be seated. So Amber, you may go first.
Steve, I take you as you are, loving who you are now and who you are yet to become. I promise from this day forward to be grateful for our love and our life, to be generous with my time, my energy, and my affection, to be patient with you and with myself, to fill our life with adventure and our home with laughter, to encourage you to grow as an individual and inspire you to do so, to love you completely. These things I pledge before you, our friends, and our family.
Steve, are you ready to make your vow?
Yes. Amber, I take you as you are, loving who you are now and who you are yet to become. I promise from this day forward to be grateful for our love and our life, to be generous with my time, my energy, and my affection, to be patient with you and with myself, to fill our life with adventure and our home with laughter, to encourage you to grow as an individual and inspire you to do so, to love you completely. These things I pledge before you and our friends and family.
So Steve and Amber, will you please join hands and look at one another? Steve, do you take Amber to be your wife? Do you promise to love, honor, cherish, and protect her, forsaking all others, and holding on to her from this day until your last day? Say, I do.
I do.
Amber, do you take Steve to be your husband? Do you promise to love, honor, cherish, and protect him, forsaking all others, and holding on to him from this day until your last day, please say, I do.
I do.
Please present the rings. The ring is a symbol of unbroken circle of love and faith. Love freely given has no beginning and no end, no giver, no receiver, for each is the giver and each is the receiver. May these rings always remind you of the vows you have made to each other. So Steve, repeat after me. I, Steve, take you.
I, Steve, take you.
Amber, to be my wife.
Amber, to be my wife.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
For richer or for poorer.
For richer or for poorer.
In joy and in sorrow.
In joy and in sorrow.
And I promise my love to you.
And I promise my love to you.
From this day to my last day.
From this day to my last day.
And with this ring.
And with this ring.
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
For as long as we both shall live.
For as long as we both shall live.
And Amber. I, Amber, take you, Steve.
I, Amber, take you, Steve.
To be my husband.
To be my husband.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
For richer or for poorer.
For richer or for poorer.
In joy and in sorrow.
In joy and in sorrow.
And I promise my love.
And I promise my love.
To you.
To you.
From this day.
From this day.
To my last day.
To my last day.
And with this ring.
And with this ring.
I thee wed.
I thee wed.
For as long as we both shall live.
For as long as we both shall live. Well.
Got it.
Teamwork! Steve and Amber, you have come here today of your own free will and in the presence of friends and family, and have declared your love and commitment to each other. You have given and received a ring as a symbol of your promises. To make your relationship work will take love. This is the core of your marriage and why you are here today. It will take trust to know that in your hearts, what you truly want is the best for each other. It will take dedication to stay open to one another and to learn and to grow together. It will take faith to go forward together without knowing exactly what the future brings. And it will take commitment to hold true to the journey you now have both pledged to each other. So by the power of your love and the commitment to each other, and by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Will you please kiss the bride? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very, very pleased and proud to announce Mr. and Mrs. Goeddeke.
Oh, come on. You can do better than that. Oh, no. Start the wedding over. You get one more try, buddy. One more try.
I know when he told me that he found the woman that he wanted to spend the rest of his life with, he really felt it. And so, everyone raise up your glass to Steve and Amber Goeddeke.
Thank you very much. Best man Ryan Ball one more time. Ryan's passing the mic over to the maid of honor, Amy Wilson.
Welcome, family and friends of the newlyweds, Mr. and Mrs. Goeddeke. For those of you who I have not met yet, I'm Amy, Amber's little sister. Amber, I must say that all the years we watched TLC shows and didn't move from our couch on Sundays has really paid off. Today has been a beautiful day, and I think the rain added to it. You're the most radiant and beautiful bride. And Steve, you clean up pretty nice too. I'm glad you kept the beard. I hope this day has been everything that you wanted and more. I'm going to start with a little bit about our childhood. Growing up, I always wanted to be just like Amber. I followed her around, everything she did, I did, and I somehow weaseled my way into hanging out with her and all of her friends. But there's an 8-year age gap here, so my mom's probably like, Amy's going, sorry. Amber, from what I saw, didn't complain about it once I was there. Who knows what she said to my mom beforehand. But over the years, she's become my best friend and my rock in life. She's very driven and compassionate. In my opinion, she's hilarious. Next page. So I could go on for hours about all of Amber's positive qualities, but I'm going to fast forward to Steve and Amber's first date because I would like to eat. Like I'm sure all of you would like to too. So after their first date, Amber called me and was like, so I went on this date with this guy, and you're never gonna guess what his name is. Before I could answer, she was yelling Steven over the phone. And we laughed because, you know, brother's name's Steve, his dad's Steve, our dad's Steve, he's Steve. So we laughed about it for a while. And then I asked her, so how did the date go? And she paused and thought about it for a moment, which I feel most people would have said good or bad. But Amber stopped and took time to think about it, and then she said refreshing, which I feel like you don't hear very often. So I looked up the definition of refreshing. The definition of refreshing is to reinvigorate someone. And I think that's exactly what they do to each other. It means to be strong in your relationship, to have energy, to have love. And that's what Amber and Steve have in each other. I'm going to end my speech with a slightly modified quote from one of Amber's favorite movies, The Notebook. We've watched this a lot of times, so it's good. The best love is the kind that awakens the soul and makes us reach for more. That plants a fire in our hearts and brings peace to our minds. And that's what you've given each other, and that's what I hope you give to each other for forever. I love you both, and again, congratulations to my sister Amber and my new brother Steve.
Thank you very much, Amy. And now we've got the groom's father. Guess what the groom's father's name is? Hey, Doug. Steve, here's your microphone. And stand where Amy was. Father of the groom. Let's hear it for Steve Goeddeke.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that tomorrow is Memorial Day. Before I start, it's easy to forget what Memorial Day actually means while you're sitting by the pool or grilling out in your backyard and looking ahead at summer vacation. But the historical reason for the holiday signifies much more than just a 3-day weekend. Memorial Day is a solemn day of remembrance for everyone who has died, serving in the American Armed Forces. The holiday, originally known as Decoration Day, started after the Civil War to honor the Union and Confederate dead. Therefore, I'd like to take a moment and ask all those active duty and veterans of the armed forces to please stand. Do we have any here? Please stand. ask everyone to ask those with a family member who has served or is currently serving to please raise their hands. Now I'd like to ask everyone to put their hands together for all those who are defending our freedoms, because freedom isn't free. Thank you all for your service. I am Steve Goeddeke, and I'm the proud father of the groom. So I've been to a few weddings over the years, but when I need a refresher on etiquette, as most people do, I Google it, okay? First order of business. Does the father of the groom give a speech? Well, here's what I found. After the meal, the speeches will take place, so obviously this is already fake news. It talks about the traditional order of the speeches, and then it says, the father of the groom is not expected to make a speech. It's the best man's job to speak about your son and to introduce him to the bride's family. Woo! I dodged a bullet, right? However, it was a couple months ago when I received a text from Stephen. Do you want to stand up and give a speech or toast at my wedding? I shot back with, I'm not the greatest orator, but yes, I'd love to say a few words. He then replied, I think you're the greatest speaker. And I'm excited to hear that. My son knows he can depend on me. Second order of business. What is the role of the father of the groom? Well, here's what I found. During the wedding reception, the father's duties also call for him to dance with his daughter, keep an eye on the food and drink supplies, and write last-minute checks to suppliers and vendors. Oh, the joys of fatherhood. So let me take a second and talk about my favorite son. I can boast about all of his accomplishments, but I'm not going to waste your time, his time or yours. Most importantly, he's grown up to be a man of integrity. Responsible, honest, generous, trustworthy, a man of his word. To Amber and her family, I think you're getting a pretty good deal here. So communication between fathers and sons can often be different than amongst other family members. So rather than expressing our feelings for each other directly, we find ways to disguise it in our texts. For example, here's a recent actual text I received from Stephen. First, I'll read it and then I'll decipher it. Dow looking a bit sick. If this pattern triggers, could shave 20% off. Resting on decent support, but could play out, especially if we get a down leg on indices. Watching closely. So let me decipher that. Dad, I know you've got a good chunk of your life savings in the market, and I'm looking out for you. I've got your back. Love, Stephen. Now I'll read my actual reply to him and then decipher that for you. The Oracle of Omaha conceded last week that he and his stock-picking lieutenants had lagged the S&P 500. What I was really saying to him was, Stephen, thanks for looking out for me, but I don't mind the swings. I'm in it for the long haul, and I've got your back too. Love, Dad. Well, it was almost a year and a half ago when Stephen and Amber met. After only a few dates, Stephen brought Amber to my dad's 80th birthday. Did I do that wrong? No.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Since then, they have been a fixture at family gatherings. Amber is truly a blessing. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Amber's parents, Steve and Julie, for raising such a wonderful young woman who loves my son so dearly. Not only is my son fortunate to have found such a prize, but I'm also gaining a fine daughter-in-law. A toast to these fine newlyweds. Remember to be kind to each other. Be patient and understanding. Don't forget to communicate, to laugh, and to love each other. Do these things and you will have a great recipe for a happy, long, and successful marriage. Let us all take a moment and have a toast to the new husband and wife.
Thank you very much. Once again, Father of the Groom, Steve Goeddeke. Already, ladies and gentlemen, in about 10 minutes, salads will be served. We're going to give the microphone over to Groom's grandfather, Francis Xavier Goeddeke. Francis, in about 5 minutes. So we're going to... Thank you, everyone, for taking your seats. It is my pleasure to give you the groom's grandfather, Francis Xavier Goeddeke. He's going to lead us with the blessing.
Greetings, everyone. I'm going to do my bit, a little bit of more solemnity than the previous speakers, because it's supposed to be a prayer after all. Almighty God, creator of all that is, Lord of life and love, we pray for Amber and Stephen that the love they share today may flourish and grow throughout their life together, and that their hopes and dreams for the future will all be realized. Help them to stay strong in any adversity and to treasure and protect the joy of marriage. We thank you for the love that unites them, the health, the work, and the food that will sustain them, and ask that their home be a welcoming and peaceful refuge in which to raise their family. Steve and Amber, because my mother's family name was Murphy, I will now channel her with an Irish blessing offered on your behalf. May green be the grass you walk on. May blue be the skies above you. May pure be the joys that surround you. And may true be the hearts that love you. Now, before we enjoy this meal, we ask God's blessing as well on those who provided, prepared, and will serve it, as together we pray. Bless us, O Lord, in these thy gifts, which we are about to receive from thy bounty. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, one quick piece of information. The staff here at Brookshire will be releasing your tables to the buffet. So nobody goes to the buffet until Annie is going to release your tables. Thank you.